I have been in love with foreign languages ever since I discovered that there were such things, starting in high school. I envied Europeans because they all had so many languages nearby, and Americans were just surrounded by English, at least when I was young. But I learned foreign languages whenever I could, and I always loved that. Formal semantics is an approach to the study of meaning in natural language. It's really been the product of collaboration among linguists, philosophers, and logicians. It's a kind of scientific approach to seeing how the meanings of whole sentences are built up from the meanings of their parts. When I discovered that there was this field of linguistics and that MIT was about to begin a program in it with this young scholar, Noam Chomsky, I made an appointment during my senior year of college to go and talk to him, find out more. And I walked into his office and I said, well, I've been studying math and Russian, and I like this idea of a combination, and I understand there's this new field of machine translation or mathematical linguistics or something like that, and that you do that here. And in retrospect, I'm very embarrassed that I hadn't done more homework in advance to be a little more informed. But he was so gentle and very, very, very kind with me, and he patiently explained why he was a little bit skeptical about machine translation and why he considered mathematical linguistics to actually be a branch of psychology, really trying to understand how the human mind worked. And then he said, we will have both in the first year program, so you can study both and see what you like more. Of course, I very quickly discovered that what I loved was what Chomsky was doing. So I finished MIT as a syntactician, very much a Chomsky disciple. And I went out to my first job at UCLA as a syntactician. But there, when I'd been there a couple of years, my old friend and colleague David Lewis came and told me that his colleague Richard Montague in the philosophy department was doing some things I might find interesting. So I went and started sitting in on Montague's seminars. And that was really exciting because what he was doing in semantics was unlike anything any linguist had ever thought about. My own contribution in this putting these things together was to try to see how to put Montague's semantics together with Chomsky and syntax, because those were the two things that I was rooted in, and at first they seemed quite incompatible. So that was a real challenge to get them together, but I loved working on that, and it was eventually successful. I think I've always liked trying to take different things that both seem good but are not obviously compatible and find ways to put them together. It was 1972 when I came to UMass, and it was a very young department. It had just begun. And there were just a few students at the beginning, but some very good ones. And we quickly built up into I think the premier department in formal semantics. My first big acquaintance with the semanticists of University of Amsterdam and Dutch semanticists in general came at the third Amsterdam colloquium in 1980. I gave an invited talk. There I became acquainted with Martin Stokhoff, Jeroen Groenendijk, Johan van Bentham, Theo Janssen, Dick de Jong, quite a number of others, and I could see how extremely lively this field already was in the Netherlands, and it was very exciting. The atmosphere was very rich. I retired in 2004, but I still stay connected to the department. I have a little post-retirement position, and my main research project now is writing a book on the history of formal semantics. I'm very excited to be receiving this honorary doctorate from University of Amsterdam. After all, I think there are more linguists per capita in the Netherlands than anywhere else, so to be recognized by this community is a really, really wonderful honor for me, and I really appreciate it.